Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa. Today I wanted to do a little bit of a questionnaire for you so you can get to know me a little bit better. I have a few new subscribers, so thank you for subscribing. To all of you, old and new, I am always excited that somebody cares to watch my life. Just to address the elephant in the room, I got my blood taken yesterday, so I have this big ugly bruise on my arm. Please excuse it. So I wanted to do a little bit of a questionnaire just to kind of go through a little bit about my motherhood journey with you. I was looking online, I couldn't really find one that I liked, so I just made my own. So if you are a content creator at all and you wanted to do this mommy questionnaire as well, I will put all the questions in the description box below so you can go ahead and take it if you want. So the first question is, how old were you when you had your first child? And I was 27 years old. That took me a while to calculate. I was 27 when I had my first kid. How many children do you have? I have 3, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old. Number 3, are you done or do you want more kids? I don't know. I feel very content with 3. I feel at a stage where I'm finally not super overwhelmed. So we're enjoying having 3. We have not permanently done anything to prevent having more though. So we will see. My husband says he's good with 3. So number 4, what kinds of births did you have? I had, all of my births were hospital births and also medicated. I had epidurals for all of my births and I would not do it any other way. I found that helped me enjoy them more because I was not dying. The first 2 births I had to be induced, and the 3rd birth I actually went into labor by myself, so that was exciting, and even before my due date. Okay, number 5. Are you content with how your births went? Do you struggle with any trauma from them? I went into all my births with a very open mind. I did not really have much of a birth plan because I did not want to be disappointed if it didn't go as I planned it to go. Also, I'm not much of a planner to begin with. I felt like all my births went fine. The baby was healthy and I was mostly healthy, so I was happy with all my births. However, my 2nd birth, I had very low hemoglobin after, so if I would have known ahead of time and they would have checked my iron levels, that would be the one thing I would have changed. If they would have checked my iron levels, they could have probably prevented it, because I almost passed out after giving birth to Eli. Yes, that would have been great. Also, the end of that pregnancy was terrible, because I had very low energy, and now I know why. Number 6, did you choose to breastfeed, or could you breastfeed? Was it a positive or negative experience for you? I did choose to breastfeed. It went well for all of them. I breastfed all of them, all 3 of my kids are till around 10 or 11 months. I did it because, you know, it's affordable and like it makes sense, it's convenient and stuff, but I struggled with it a little bit because like I got out touched, I guess. It's like I'm not a touch person. So it was too much touching and also leaking everywhere and I guess sharing my body with someone else. Is the best maybe way to put it. I struggle with that. So when I'm done breastfeeding, I'm so happy to be done it. And I would avoid having another pregnancy so I wouldn't have to breastfeed again. Like, that's on the negatives list of having another baby, because I just really would not want to do it again, but I will do it again if I have another kid, because it's the most affordable and convenient thing, and I guess it's the sacrifice I am going to make for my family. Number 7, what was your hardest transition in adding kids? So was it 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 3 to 2 to 3, or whatever? And for me, 2 to 3. Oh man, I'm still like recovering from 2 to 3. My third child is now 2 years old. And yeah, I guess I just got way too overwhelmed. My weight from the pregnancy never came off. I'm still heavier than I was 9 months pregnant. So that is a whole issue that I have struggled with very hard and am still trying to work on. And then, yeah, just the chaos was crazy. I think I had too many little kids at that point. Now my oldest kid is starting to get to a point where she can be helpful too, with like keeping up with the housework and stuff. So it's starting to get easier. Anya's coming to join me for a minute because she had a question that she made up.
What was the gender of your kid? Any kid?
My answer is Enya was my first kid, so the gender was a girl, and then I had a boy, and then another boy. Were you happy or surprised about the genders? I was very happy to have a daughter. My husband always dreamed of having a daughter, so I was relieved that my first child was a daughter. And when I had my son, I was surprised because in my family, the first 6 grandkids were girls. Like, there's a lot of girls in my family, and I grew up with 4 girls and 1 boy in our as the kids in our family. So I was very surprised when I had my boy, and I was kind of worried, like, what am I gonna do? I don't know how to raise boys. But then Eli came along and we figured it out. It was just like girls. They all need the same thing: love, food, and attention. And then when I found out Levi was a boy, when I had Levi, I was excited for Levi to be a boy too, but I was disappointed because my daughter will never have a sister if we're done having kids. And I grew up with a lot of sisters, and I value my sisters a lot, but it is what it is. And Enya's lucky enough to have 2 brothers. And they, especially Enya and Eli, because they're really close in age, get along really well, so it doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, you got a shirt like that. Simba.
No, it's a cat.
It's a cat, yeah.
Hi. Hi.
Okay, and last one to do with gender. Hi. Wait, I'm going to ask another question. Did you find out your genders before your birth, or did you wait and have it a surprise at the birth? I did not wait. I am too impatient. Okay, so I always found out on my 20-week ultrasound what gender my babies were, and I like doing that because it kind of gave me time to get used to it, and also it made me feel like I bonded better with the baby because you could you know, kind of envision them more now because you know their gender. And then also you had time to figure out names or not stress about names. You didn't have to stress about half of the names because you knew it was only going to be a girl or boy. So the next question is, what is something you struggle with in motherhood? And my answer would be routine and what do you call it? Organization and keeping all the balls in the air and all that. So mostly when it comes to like housework, I can't keep up with the housework. I spend a lot of the time playing with my kids or doing things, going on adventures, and then things get neglected, like housework. And I am working on trying to get a better balance there. And then the next question is, what is something you enjoy in motherhood? And something that I really enjoy about being a mother is that I have more people to go and do adventures with. My kids are always usually up to be going out and doing activities and go to the park and, you know, walk here or go there, which is really fun for me because my husband is more of a homebody and he also works full-time. So once he's put in his work outside of the house, then he wants to be at home, just like relaxing. So it's good for me to have somebody else that I can hang out with. Now, the next question is, besides the birth, do you have a memory with your kids that is the most happy or precious to you? So I would say for me, that is just like summer fun. The last couple summers where I've been a stay-at-home mother, and just being able to like hang out with them and go to the park with them and go to the paddling pools with them and taking them, you know, on little adventures around the city. Not really anything that costs us a lot of money or anything, just spending time in the fresh air and sunshine and having fun together. And if you don't know, I live in Saskatchewan, so summertime outdoor activities are very limited because the winters are long and cold and we can't go outside very often. Okay, so now I have a few questions that I put in here because I want people to realize that on social media, it may look like everybody's families are perfect and their marriage is perfect and everything, but I wanted to put a few questions in here just to give you an idea that probably lots of people struggle in their marriages and their parenting journeys as they try to parent together with someone that is not them, I guess, and doesn't fully agree with them all the time. So there's a few questions about like that. So the first one is, have you ever struggled in your relationship with the father of your children? Yes, I have, like every day. We have arguments a lot, but we usually try to come together, I guess, work it out somehow. I guess for me, because I realize my kids love, you know, their father as much as they love me, and I do not want to ever take them away from their father, and I don't want them to be taken away from me either. So I would never want to split half time with someone if I would think about getting a divorce or something like that, which I, you know, have had times in the past where I felt like I wanted to quit. But yeah, it always comes down to that. Like, I'm not willing to let my kids live somewhere else without me, and I'm not willing to not have my kids live with their dad, I guess. What is one point of disagreement in parenting with your spouse or the father of your child? Okay. I guess mostly, like, probably our biggest point of disagreement is how much activity, how much outside the home things our kids are doing. I would like to be outside the home with my kids every day, and my husband thinks that's unnecessary and costs too much money even to just drive somewhere. Okay, what is one point of agreement in parenting? And I'm gonna say discipline. We both value discipline. My husband has always been strong on the discipline. I was gentler when my kids were young, but because I was too afraid to be too harsh with them or something. I didn't want to screw them up by being too harsh. But I realized that you can screw them up by not having any discipline either, and everybody's healthier if I'm in control and the authority over people, over the kids. And I think everybody's happier, yes, if an adult who knows what they're doing is running the show rather than a kid. Because a kid will, I think, step up if you are not going to, which is not fair for that kid or the other kids. So now we are quite in agreement with like how to discipline our kids, and that we want them to be disciplined, and it's okay to be a little harsh once in a while. A little happier question about the parenting is, who named your babies? So my husband named my daughter, and I named Eli, my son, my second son, and then we kind of compromised together and came up with Levi. I was supposed to be able to name the boys, and my husband's supposed to be naming the girls, but he decided that was not a fair deal after the second boy came along. Are your kids a mix of both parents, or did some of them favor one parent's looks over the other? So, you just saw my kids in the video. Do you think they look white? No. They look very Asian, Korean. They look very Korean, especially in our society or in our community, because it's mostly white. There's not very many Koreans. So most people think they look like their father, and they do quite a bit. But if you put them next to their fully Korean cousins, they do look quite white too. So it depends on who we're with, actually. And I think Eli takes on some features more from my side of the family, because he reminds me a lot of some of my nephews on my side of the family. So, but is that kind of crazy how some ethnicities are way more dominant than others? Like, I guess Korean has dominant genes compared to white. 2 more questions just to set the mood nicely at the end is, describe your family in 3 words. How about this? I can say wild, kind, and multicultural. There you go. The reason why I say wild is because, like, if they're not dirty, they weren't having fun kind of vibe goes on here a lot of the time. Kind, because I do actually think my kids are pretty kind children. But maybe every mother thinks that. I'm not sure. And then, yes, multicultural, obviously. Okay, and the last question I have, what is your greatest desire for your children? So my greatest desire for my kids, I guess, is contentment, maybe. That they can have a life that they really enjoy, that they find love and happiness, and also, of course, that they know the love of Jesus. Okay, so thanks for watching this. This may be a little long, I'm sorry. Like I said, if you have your own channel, feel free to copy these questions from the description box. And if you do make your own video, comment down below so I know, so I can go check it out. Okay, thank you. Bye.